Well folks, Bruce here, and I'm on the Rimu flats at one of Wyatt Mining's operations. 25 men work on this area here. Louis up the top there, he's probably got 15. Ian White's got 12 here. Further down the valley we've got Jeff Jacobs, he's got 4. And folks, this is what's keeping New Zealand alive. WA 600 there for all those petrol heads, diesel heads. A Doosan, I think it's a Doosan 290 behind, or a Hyundai. Oh, it's a Hyundai. And you got a Volvo. Now he's taking wash to the screens. Now once again, you have a look here folks, and you'll see this operator is actually feeding 2 screens. The front end loader is tailing out from both 5-foot plants. And Ian White tells me that he runs 5-foot plants because it's easier on water conservation. They just handle the whole thing better. He's got a spare trommel on site, spare engine assembly. So this is very similar to how they do it in the Yukon. And the miners in the Yukon learned how to mine from these guys here. We've got our very own Parker on site here, and Parker's grandfather. Once again, notice how smoothly they feed the screens. You know, you dump it all in, you lose your gold. There are 6 or 7 of those Wrigley's feeding wash to the screens. Now there's many years of work here. Ian thinks a minimum of 10 and potentially 20, as there are other landowners now wanting to see their land mined. Of course they get a tribute out of all of the gold that the miners produce, and that makes, hey, they've got to pay their rates, get a return on their capital and make a margin as well, and it works out really well for them. Got a couple of Wrigleys in the background passing. call them Wrigley's, but maybe I shouldn't. This one here is a late model Komatsu. Now the guy that's driving that, he's about as close as you're going to get to Parker. Met him here just before. Gets a bit grumpy when the machinery's not running. Now folks, you can't just come onto a mine site and have a look. You've got to go through, there's a visitor entry, you've got to be inducted. There's a whole lot of health and safety matters you've got to be that they have to work through with you. And it generally takes half an hour at least, and that's just to get onto the site. Because they are a work site, and you know, health and safety is really important. Now, you know, you think these guys earn their money easy. They sit on those machines for 10 or 12 hours a day, and all they do is feed those screens. Or alternatively, they're driving a dumper. Or alternatively, they're feeding a conveyor to clean out the top layer of dirt. Ian White pioneered conveyor stripping. Folks, that's a Komatsu WA 600. Relocating a fuel tank by the look of it. This is gold mining West Coast style coasters. 25 men on the site, all earning really good money. This is not $20 an hour stuff here. These guys are professional machine operators. They work long hours, and the gold revenue that they produce goes straight into export earnings. Now they're working very deep on the site here, so that requires huge excavations, and then the big clean up at the end, or they do it as they progressively go along, and it'll end up back as it was when they began, where it had been mined in the 80s, the early 2000s, and now again in the year 2020. And they'll be here till the year 2030 at least. So pretty exciting. Our coasters will keep wandering.